What is going on, everybody? Bobby Fi here. Just going to be talking quickly through this 4-game slate for the evening. Hope you guys had a better morning than I did. I did not play the Cardinals, so I do have the Cubs though quite a bit, so it's not over yet. We'll see. We'll see how it ends up. You never know with baseball. It is hard to, when you get the 9% catcher who hits 3 home runs, you're probably going to have a hard time winning a tournament if you don't have that guy. I do have a lot of Suzuki, though, who could still catch him, and I very much doubt those two are paired up very much. All right, I'm not going to share my screen. I'm just going to talk through this slate, and I'm not even sure how many people of you guys are playing, and just what I like here. Highest owned pitchers are going to be pretty, chalky-ish. Wheeler, Crochet, then Snell on DraftKings, then Gallen, then Rodon, then Eflin, and then just a tiny bit of Bryce Elder, but literally one lineup. I don't think you have to necessarily try and commit to full stacks. I think that should be your default, but I think you can definitely try some different things tonight. I am going to be well underweight the Arizona Yankee game. There's some, it's not like great hitting weather. Right now it's 48 degrees with 12-mile-an-hour winds blowing in from right center. And it'll be easier for the righties to hit one out than it will be the lefties. And I think that people will have more exposure to this game. So I'm sort of off of most of Arizona and the Yankees. I do have 20% Phillies, 25% Dodgers, and different types of stacks. 37% of Colorado and my non Wheeler lineups. And I am all the way up at 65% Atlanta. So look, I'm stacking against my Dodgers. Blake Snell is going to give us some variance at different points, and I think we can try and take a shot against him here. You also have stolen base upside against him always. He can get wild. This feels like maybe a breakout spot, and it's also, you got 16-mile-an-hour winds blowing out to right field, 62 degrees, so a little bit warmer than it's been because the game's starting a little bit earlier. We don't have the Dodger lineup yet, but as of right now, I feel pretty content with the Braves being my highest exposed, and they're actually my highest exposed on both sites. I'm using almost exclusively Wheeler. I have 80% Wheeler on FanDuel. My second highest owned pitcher will be Crochet, and then I am not getting to Snell. I'm not playing a ton of lineups, so I am not getting to Blake Snell on FanDuel, mainly because on FanDuel, I have Atlanta 88% stacked. So that's where I'm at. And the Dodgers, I have 30%. Philly, I have 44%. But I do love Atlanta as a way of getting different on this slate. And look, these are the things that are not going to work most of the time. But when they do, you are going to be in great shape. When you get sub 5% owned players that are legitimately good hitters on a 4-game slate, I know that Atlanta's been trashed so far to start the year. They've had some really tough matchups against the Dodgers and Padres. I'm not buying that this lineup is altogether trash. So I like the idea of taking some shots on them. And I think it's a really, really, really good stack to take a gamble on. So Atlanta will be my number one owned stack this evening. And that is my way of getting different. Good afternoon, Nika. Good to see you, Charles. I guess, and that's really all I have. The NBA, I'm just going to pull up the slate right now. And I haven't done anything with it because I'm not going to play. But let me pull up the slate and see where I'm at with the NBA. Give me a second here. Okay, and we'll pull up this 8-game slate. Sounds like a nightmare to me. 9 games on FanDuel. Games all spread out up till 9:30 Eastern. All right, so take a quick look now and see what we're getting. There's going to be even more value, but there's already a bunch of value. Champagne. We saw who the Mamu thing last night cost me. Got a bunch of Mamu. I ended up with 80%. He was 50% owned. And what did he end up with? Did he end up scoring anything? He had -0.5 at halftime. That was a little bit unfortunate. But yeah, I think Champagne. I do still like the Mamu play. I maybe think that it's a little bit worse than SaberSim does. That's where I'm at. And then I also think that you've got Biombo at 3,300, you could use that, but I think there's going to be more that we get out there, and we've still got Keldon Johnson questionable, Colby Jones questionable, so there's a lot to wait on. So I guess the thing I like to do when this value all comes pouring in from everywhere, we've got Jokic questionable tonight. That's tough. Hard not to want to play a guy who just put up 100 fantasy points or 98. Okay, so I guess as a way of getting different, and I don't love the Shea play myself, but I think it's an interesting way to get different. I think my favorite one would probably be Cat, playing games that matter. I don't really want the Tatum thing. I think Cat might be my favorite sub 10% owned spend up, followed by Shea. I also think you could just take a gamble if Miles Bridges is a go. I think it's really worth taking a shot on him. I think he can get to 50 easily against Indiana, and there might even be upside on that. So he would be the other one to spend up for that I would be contrarian with. But again, not a very interesting slate for me because I just think this time it's like, I love basketball and it makes me hate basketball playing, and I don't really want to hate basketball. I like it. So that's sort of where I'm at. For those of you who are site members, again, I'm going to remind everybody, get in now. We are about to raise everything, and it's an incredible offering. For just a tiny bit more, what is it, $23 for the ultimate package more than SaberSim. You get all of Sheets' projections, which everybody knows. Sheets wins everything. Goldie's projections, all of my content, my exact exposures for every slate that I play. You get all of Rhodey's playbooks for MLB. You got Adam Perry doing MLB and NHL for us, as well as some other funky sports. Sheets obviously covers a lot of the other ones as well. We've also got Brandon Cruz for NASCAR. It's a really good team. And then the Pay Dirt partnership, we have all the Pay Dirt, content that you'd want. So I really think even for sports betting, it's been unbelievable, the Pay Dirt stuff. So I would really suggest now getting on board now. And we do have trials out there. Even if you used a trial, you can use it again because we do not have we are not putting a limit on the trials at this moment. So now would be a good time to jump on in if you want to. And yeah, with that said, let's have a good night, everybody. Any questions? I'll be in the Discord to talk about any MLB stuff. We still don't have a Dodger lineup. Last time I checked, let me just double check again. Yeah, it looks like we still don't. But that's sort of where I'm at for right now. So I appreciate you guys, and hopefully have a big night tonight. And yeah, moving on to golf tomorrow. All my golf stuff's up, and check it out when you get a chance if you're